When are we going to say that it's all over? That any remaining hope of Charles Leclerc battling Max Verstappen for the 2022 Formula 1 title has been extinguished? Perhaps lap 39 of last weekend's Hungarian Grand Prix was a good place to call it quits. That's when Ferrari pulled its latest strategy surprise, pitting Leclerc for a set of hard tires that were clearly out of place. So, how did this blunder occur? What role does Mattia Binotto play in it? And will he be fired during F1 summer vacation? We think we have some insight, so keep watching and let's get straight into it. Everything started off so well. Ferrari was lightning fast, and we mean lightning fast. Second and third place is no laughing matter, especially when your main championship rivals are 10th and 11th. Ferrari were looking at an easy 1-2 finish at the Hungarian, assuming that the surprising form of youngster George Russell on Saturday didn't translate into the race, which it didn't. So the stage was set for the Italian team to bring home a serious haul of points, allowing them to reclaim some of the ground they lost in recent races. So, how did they get this so wrong? Starting third on the grid, Charles Leclerc outpaced teammate Carlos Sainz early in the race, passing the Spaniard during pit stops before taking the lead from pole setter George Russell's Mercedes on lap 31 of 70. However, a second pit stop and a switch to the hard tire appeared to undo all of Leclerc's hard work as he struggled to warm up the white-walled rubber, the Monegasque cursing over the radio before falling behind eventual winner Max Verstappen and down the order. A late switch to soft seeing him emerge a dreadful 6th where he'd eventually finish, as Sainz finished 4th. The championship picture now looks like this. If Leclerc wins the 9 remaining rounds after the summer break, sets the fastest lap in all of them, and wins the Brazil sprint race, he will finish the season with 420 points. This is the exact amount Verstappen would earn if he finished second in every race until the end of the year. Yeah, not looking good. Ferrari must address the issues that have allowed the drivers and constructors championships to slip away, with the Scuderia now trailing Red Bull by 97 points. Any fixes, however, will almost certainly be too late for 2022. The solutions it requires over the summer break are now focused on avoiding further embarrassment, then it might think about title success in the future. But Ferrari, or at least Mattia Binotto, disagrees. In fact, the Swiss team captain holds the opposing viewpoint. After everyone rightfully questioned Ferrari's ability to make decisions both during and between races, he has shut down suggestions that changes are needed at the team. When asked how Ferrari will react to the drama, and whether it is simply due to bad luck, Binotto responded calmly. It's not a matter of bad luck, and there's nothing to change as well. I think it's always a matter of continuous learning, building exercises, and building skills. In the Hungarian Grand Prix, certainly there is something in which we need to look at and to understand why it happened. Ferrari fired off the 2022 season with a 1-2 finish at the Bahrain Grand Prix, while Red Bull struggled with reliability. After finishing second in Saudi Arabia and winning again in Australia, where Verstappen retired, Leclerc enjoyed a 46-point buffer over the reigning world champion. But despite Ferrari's continued strong pace as the season progressed, reliability issues and mistakes by Sainz and Leclerc cost them valuable points. Binotto, however, sees Ferrari's raw speed as a positive and believes the team will be able to close the gap to Red Bull in the second half of the year. If I look again at the balance of the first half of the season, there is no reason why we should change anything. I think we simply need to address what was wrong in Hungary, that we need to first understand and then to address and to try to be back to being competitive. It has been the case for 12 races so far, and there's no reason why it will not be the case at the next. To be honest, this seems like a strange thing to say. Ferrari is already competitive. The only thing holding them back this season was reliability, strategy, and driver error, all of which Mattia Binotto appears to ignore. It would be a different conversation if we were talking about Haas or Williams, but the reality is that the championship gap is due to Ferrari tripping over themselves, not Red Bull's prowess. Mattia Binotto's ignorance of this fact has sparked uproar in the paddock, with ex-F1 driver Ralf Schumacher leading the charge. Given recent events, the German believes that some members of the team may face consequences. I see 2 people's jobs in danger, Daniel Ricciardo and also Mattia Binotto. When you get the gift of being able to go for the World Cup with Ferrari and throw it away so carelessly, it should become difficult for you. So I see him in danger during the summer break. There are too many little things that are going wrong and too many technical problems. And unsurprisingly, Schumacher was left baffled by Ferrari's strategy decision at the Hungarian. The last stop by Leclerc was incomprehensible to me. I don't think Red Bull expected the help. So, speculations about Mattia Binotto's future aside, what can Ferrari do to get out of their current predicament? Following the adage to finish first, you must finish first, reliability must be addressed as a matter of priority. The failure of Leclerc's turbo and MGU-H cost him a certain victory in Spain. Then, in Azerbaijan, a likely victory was ruined when the engine exploded. But don't forget that Carlos Sainz's car also kicked the bucket in Baku and in Austria, while Leclerc won despite of a late scare from a stuck throttle dampener. Meanwhile, Red Bull got its gremlins out of the way early. It has not had a technical retirement since the fuel system failures in Bahrain and Australia. It is, of course, debatable whether a fast but fragile car is preferred to a reliable but slower one. And to be fair, Ferrari may have gotten it right under the current 2022 regulations. The low-speed prowess of the Italian engine is unparalleled, and when combined with the Canada-spec rear wing, the F175 is the faster contender at the moment. Nevertheless, the DNFs have limited the opportunities for Leclerc and Sainz to win, making Leclerc's spin into the barriers from first place in France all the more costly. By dealing with unreliability, the chances of success will naturally increase. That must have played a role in the strategic blunders at Monaco, Silverstone, Paul Ricard, and Hungaroring receiving as much criticism as they have. The pit wall blew the opportunity on the days when the cars were in position and still running. If the Scuderia would have won in Barcelona and Baku, perhaps the Scuderia would have nailed its tactics, making strategy blunders seem less common. However, pit procedures, both in terms of sloppy execution to bleed time and poor tactics, are clearly a major issue at the moment. To summarize Hungary's problems, it bet everything on the hard tire, a compound that neither car had ever run during that weekend. It then didn't touch the soft Pirellis it had brilliantly unlocked and extensively run in second practice until the final 20 laps of the race. The tacticians had also seen the afternoons of both Haas and Alpine's falter dramatically once they hit the white wall rubber. Mercedes, Red Bull, and McLaren all stated that the hards were never considered from the lap to the grid. However, they appeared to be critical to Ferrari's calculations. We're sorry, but what Ferrari was thinking in Hungary was even more outrageous given the amount of evidence they had that the hards were essentially undrivable. How Ferrari addresses its strategy nightmares may also be cause for concern. As previously stated, Mattia Binotto has consistently defended the cause that cost the team a victory in Hungary. The concern heading into the next season and beyond following this major regulatory rule reset is that Ferrari has failed to capitalize on its excellent opportunity with the fast F175. Red Bull understands that it must address the RB18's weight issue for its successor and will concentrate heavily on that weakness. Would you bet against Adrian Newey and his colleagues based on the team's in- and off-season development record? We wouldn't. And that's before a recovered and re-energized Mercedes enters the picture. As a result, it is up to Ferrari not only to solve its current problems, but also take a step forward equal in size to Red Bull over the next 8 months. That will give the Scuderia the best chance of winning the championship in 2023, ending a 15-year drought. Let's face it, 2022 has been sealed at this point. Binotto, it's your turn to prove us wrong. What do you guys think? Are we being a little too harsh? Or is the championship going to turn out much more predictable than hoped? Do you think Ferrari has what it takes to make a miracle happen and win this one? And would you fire Binotto if you were in charge of Ferrari? Let us know in the comments section down below. And if you enjoyed the video, consider liking and subscribing. It helps us out a lot.